Welcome to the carnage.
And welcome back to the carnage, everybody. Today we are going to go over is men in crisis. It's a topic that's been more popular lately, and there's been those questions being raised: are men going through a crisis? And we have obviously many talking points from different sides of the coin. You have the what I like to call pseudo intellectuals on the left making books like Scott Galloway, who more or less in his books are saying that yes, men are in crisis, but it's men's fault and men need to man up and men need to take control of their problems and yada yada yada. And then you have the feminists that are saying that men put themselves in that position for, XYZ, and that they don't care that men are having crisis. In fact, they're cheering it on and making videos about how, people who are more or less unaliving themselves, that this is a good thing because the future is female and we're pushing for, she for he and all this crap, right? And so those are the two main real talking points that you get. Kind of reason why is that more or less as a man, typically we don't talk about our feelings or emotions. We're not good about going to the doctor. I mean, cut your finger off and most likely you're going to staple it and duct tape it and try to get away with not having to see a doctor at all. That's just how men are. So, do I think that there's a crisis for men? Absolutely. And do I think that men, we need to figure something out to correct the problem because nobody else is going to? Absolutely. So some of these videos today are going to kind of touch base on that, and I'm interested to see what you guys have to say in the comments. And of course, if you get a chance, hit like, subscribe. If not, that's okay too. But let's go ahead and get right into the video.
Be honest, who do you call when you are at your lowest?
Nobody.
Just nobody.
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 Yeah. Nobody.
No one.
No one.
Nobody, bro.
Nobody.
I don't call anyone.
Ghostbusters? Hello? Hello?
We can call somebody?
I just thought nobody gave a fuck because I was a man. Well, honestly, I would rather fucking send a carrier pigeon than call somebody.
Do y'all call someone?
So we bottle it up and we save it. Unfortunately, it most often comes out as frustration or anger, as pure emotion.
I'm supposed to be the rock that supports the house, and if there's no rock, the house falls apart. So
I'm a man. I just be minding my business until somebody call me, ask me how I'm doing, and then I lie and say I'm fine.
A guy, nobody gives a shit.
No one. Just keep that stuff to yourself. As soon as it starts bubbling up, you just push it right back down.
Not a single soul.
Not a single fucking person.
Cause I'm all alone.
We gon' max out on either squats or deadlifts, and we're gonna sit there between sets like this. That's it.
I'm a man. No one cares.
So just take 3 Advil, 2 Tylenol, drink 3 cups of coffee, put a dip in, and just fucking plow through your day until you're able to just sit in silence.
I just tell Clifford and then kind of just leave it.
Most men do feel that way. I can honestly say I feel that way most of the time. I'm lucky that I have a wife that I can talk to her, but there are certain things that as a husband I hold back because I don't want to worry her, right? And I feel like all men more or less who are married do that there's just certain things that your wife doesn't need to know because if you bring it up, it's just going to worry them and you don't want them to be worried. And so men who aren't married, though, I could imagine most of them don't have anybody that they, talk to or call when the proverbial shit hits the fan. And so I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons and causes why obviously more men are deleting themselves than women, because they just feel alone and hopeless and useless, and there's nothing that they can do about it. And that's really sad. It really is. And if there is anybody out there right now feeling that way, and just you got to understand, like, that's not the best option, man. You can't quit. Today might suck, but tomorrow could be better. Just do your best to reach out to somebody, even if it's somebody you don't know. I'm always here. You can comment down below. We can contact each other, and, I'd be more than happy to help you through anything that I can. So just keep that in mind.
Men are in trouble, but whose fault is it? A new study of British men and women between 18 and 45 has revealed that men are at a crisis point. Nearly half of men are considering giving up on love entirely, with 44% saying they were unwilling to undertake the compromise or self-improvement relationships require.
See, that's bullshit. I know that it has nothing to do with men saying, I don't want to better myself for a woman in a relationship is they don't want to do it because they don't see any value in it. That man changes his whole life, right? He gets going, everything is on the up and up. The likelihood that that woman tomorrow becomes unhappy and divorces you is so high, and it's such a risk that is that risk even worth putting in the effort? And a lot of men say no. A lot of men don't want to deal with it. They would rather just be alone. And that's how, that's how men think right now. They don't want to take the risk, because if the risk was lower and there was actually something at the end of that tunnel where, okay, we get divorced, you're not going to take my kids, my house, my car, my dog, everything that I have. If there was more equality in that, I think more men would be willing to take the risk. But the risk is so high anymore that there's no way that most men would want to accept that risk at all.
In the UK and United States, singlehood is rising in every age bracket. This research suggests what's behind that. A quarter of men, bleakly, said they believe no one would fall in love with them. 2/3 of men believe no one cares if men are okay these days. No surprise that 15% of young men have interacted with an AI girlfriend. Men spent more time online than women and found it more satisfying.
Now, I find that hard to believe that more men spend more time online than women, because men do not seek validation through attention, on Instagram. Like, we don't post pictures and just sit there and wait for the likes and the little heart emojis and, the thirst trap bull crap that they put up, and have incel, simp men like, oh my God, you're so hot. That's what they do. So I find it hard to believe that men are spending more time online in that aspect. If men are online, it's most likely they're playing Call of Duty or Fortnite or Madden or some form of game, spending their time online that way.
Meanwhile, almost a quarter of young men said they actively sought out violent pornography showing strangulation or similar. The question is, why? Dating apps, porn, and growing social isolation amongst young men have weakened their relationship skills. But there is hope. When asked to rank 18 traits that meant being a man, the results were pretty wholesome. Being a friend came out on top, then helping those who need it. Meanwhile, the traditional hallmarks of toxic masculinity, like managing conflict with...
Oh my God, I absolutely hate that word. I hate the title. There is no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's toxic people, and people have some toxic traits, but inherently masculinity is not toxic. It would be no different than us saying toxic femininity. Women baby trap men, and they all want to do false allegations, and that's toxic feminism, and that's toxic femininity. If we were to spin that, we would get eaten alive by these people. They would spout out, there's no such thing, shut the hell up.
Violence and having many sexual partners. They ranked bottom. And when asked whether being a parent is the most important job in the world, 80% of men agreed, more than women. So while some of these stats may be concerning, it is clear men still aspire to being connected, caring humans.
Yeah, and that should tell you everything you need to know. If more men say that they are interested in parenthood and being a father, 80% of men said that that is an important thing, even more than women, then that should tell you how the, family court system is completely skewed, right? If more men are saying, hey, I want to take care of my kid, I want to be a dad, more than women, then why is it that 90% of divorce courts and family courts, women win everything, including the children? And instead of taking into consideration any of this data that they collect at all.
Remove sex from a relationship and 90% of women have nothing to offer. Remove money and 90% of women will disappear. Honestly, he nailed it. Women today are useless. Ran through, materialistic, and draining your wallet. You'd be better off flying to Thailand and becoming a passport bro, because Western women, not worth it. Got your attention? Exactly. I am so tired of seeing posts like this that are strategically phrased to incite anger amongst all of you. I've watched my male following go from excited and eager about dating to completely turned off by it, thanks to the toxic, addictive mindset that all women suck. Look, I get it. Some women suck. And I hear your frustrations about the norms we are trying to reverse. But I also know that there are amazing women who want masculine men and share your values. Posts like this are meant to fuel your rage and keep you hooked on an endless dopamine hit of validating your self-pity. I know the game, and if I wanted to, I could grow my following in a heartbeat by playing into it, but I'm not going to. I've watched my following shrink over the past year because I refuse to feed you hopelessness. This response couldn't have said it any better.
So, yeah, I agree to a certain extent that there is that, what I like to call clickbait, the click rage title, the clickbait, and I stay far away from that. If you notice, and you've been here on my channel before, you'll notice that I do not in any way, shape, or form put up clickbait. And the reason why I don't is because I would rather grow organically and providing content in the way that I'm giving you from the thumbnail to the title to the very end of the video. I'm giving you what I said that I'm giving you. I don't want you to click on my video because, I put some hot chick, in the thumbnail and I'm like, oh, she divorced her husband and instantly regrets it. And then she's not even in the video, right? Who's on the thumbnail. So I hate that tactic and, I would not going to grow that way. But anyways, back to the topic is I agree with her that there are, and maybe a good portion of them, but there's a lot of women who post content about, male activism and male rights and whatnot that could be doing it simply because they don't mind the female detractors. They don't mind the hate comments. They don't mind being called a pick-me because the money that rolls in from that is much more important than the hate. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but I do know there is a good portion of women out there that make that content that do believe wholeheartedly in, fairness, equality, males' rights, So I would even say the ones that make the content just for the views and clicks, at least they're bringing some form of attention to a topic than, all of these other videos that quite honestly add no value to the manosphere at all.
We got news last night via social media that they had video footage of the young man, and now they have made it from a search and rescue to a recovery.
So if you guys don't know, this happened last month in November on Men's Day, basically. It's like November 19th. And the story was that somebody originally said that they saw a guy, on the bridge, and they were positive that he was, there to jump. And there was some miscommunication between some of the witnesses that, he tripped and fell and this, that, and the other. But ultimately, he did jump and did not survive, unfortunately. And when they discovered kind of the reason and the cause why is, he felt hopeless. His view was through some of his social media stuff was, AI's taking all of our jobs and, women hate us and I feel useless and worthless and there's no reason for me to carry on. And I got to say, guys, if you feel that way, please don't hesitate to reach out. Even if you don't have anybody, like I said earlier, you could reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to talk with you and see what we can do to change that mindset and be a brother. All right.
So he did. He jumped off that bridge. How many more boys and young men and men need to end their lives before we will recognize and wake up and acknowledge that they're in crisis? The good news is that a lot of people have been following this story and people are devastated. But you know how quick the news cycle is and it'll just be forgotten. Well, I had already planned on doing just walking the bridge by myself to celebrate International Men's Day, to bring awareness, just get a little sign. But I want to do something more formal. So wherever you are, our boys are hurting themselves. And how many more are just silently like walking dead? It can all start with just what you can do that's right around you. So you could celebrate and you could bring awareness. You could do a march, you could do an event, you could do a gathering, you could do a prayer circle. There's so many different things that you could do that could bring awareness. And on November 19th, how unfortunate this is that we have this tragedy. But sometimes it seems like that it's the only thing that maybe wakes us up. November 19th is International Men's Day, and we need to stop and really focus on all of the statistics around our boys and men and what we can do about it. Because you can't unsee this and you can't unhear it, and this is on us. This is on us.
So yeah, she is trying to do a good thing. I've seen a few of her videos and I appreciate that she's reaching out and trying to, you know, be a voice for those who, you know, feel hopeless, right? And so I appreciate her for that. And I too would like to, at some point here soon, I'm going to create like a Discord or something, and I'll post it on my videos. I'll actually make a video announcing it, you know, just for a place for people to come to. And, you know, if you're looking for like-minded people, or you just want to play games, or you're interested in like a D&D game, or like movies, or getting together with somebody to go, you know, catch a concert or a football game or something, just to have that place. And so let me know in the comments if you guys would be interested in that.
Apparently there are a lot of men out there that are done with being used and all the other BS that comes with modern dating, and they're probably just sitting at home alone ignoring people. And as women, I think it's time for us to start taking accountability. Women are just way too busy looking for their next meal ticket or who's gonna buy them their next Louis bag, okay? And I am so sick of it because women have become so toxic towards men, and it's not fair. Men deserve to be loved and cherished, and all these toxic women are just ruining it for the good ones like myself. And I'm just so sick of it, and I don't know how it's gonna stop. Like, we need men. We literally need men. So women, just stop ruining it for everyone.
Unpopular opinion, but being a man in today's world might actually be one of the hardest jobs on the planet. And here's why. So check this out. Women say they want sensitivity, but not too much sensitivity. Share your emotions, but don't you dare share too many, or suddenly you are weak. They say be a good leader, but in the same breath, I'm not following you anywhere because I'm Miss Independent. How does that even work? They want strength with just the right amount of vulnerability, honesty, but not so honest that it points out their flaws, because then you are the bad guy. They expect you to read their damn mind, but if you assume what they're thinking, you're wrong. Be financially stable, but also have endless free time to give all your attention to me, because doesn't financial stability take time to build? When you hear these requests out loud, you realize how much they contradict each other. Sounds confusing, right? But imagine being the man who's expected to figure all of this out. So here's the question. Do men really have it easier, or are we just not being honest about how impossible these expectations really are? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I know this one is going to spark a debate.
So, yeah, she's absolutely right. Women have what they like to call standards, right, and expectations. But when men have anything even remotely on par with that, it's considered controlling, misogynistic, and you're just an asshole, right? So I don't understand how that works in the double standard in our society, and how people just go along with it like, oh, yeah, that's just totally acceptable. It's not. It's in no way acceptable at all. And men do not know how to read minds, ladies. We don't. We cannot, you know, infiltrate your brain and be like, oh, she's going to start her period, so she probably wants chocolate ice cream and this. We can't do that, right? Now, what we can do is, you know, learn the patterns of you and be like, oh, yeah, she's going to start this week. I should probably, while I'm at the store, pick her up something. Like, that's the right thing to do and a nice thing to do. But you can't expect a man to do that, like, especially if you just got with him. He doesn't know. He doesn't know your patterns. He can't read your fucking mind.
Boys are in trouble. 2 out of 3 students in special needs programs in our schools are males. Boys are dropping out of high school, college, grad schools faster than anyone else. Boys are troubled in school. Their math scores are the lowest in history. Their English scores are the lowest in history since records were kept.
And biggest reason why is because of the programs that springboard other groups of people into the education system and job systems that men are at a disadvantage, and specifically heterosexual white men are at a disadvantage, you know, the villains of the world, simply because of the programs like DEI and whatnot that exist for allowing women an easier road to get into university. And a lot of times, it isn't even about academics or metric anymore. It's simply because of, well, you know, she's a minority woman, so we're going to go ahead and give it to her.
This is exactly what's happening at bars and clubs because men are no longer falling for it. They are no longer just throwing their money out at women that do not take them seriously. They are no longer willing to waste their time, effort, and resources. But because of this, women are out here trying to give men a bad rap. Like they're saying, what's wrong with men these days? They used to go to war. Now they just want to be treated like a woman at a bar. But that is just not the case because men will absolutely put in just as much effort as they always have into pursuing you. But it takes one thing, and that one thing is that he has to know that you are taking him seriously. Because one of the number one resources to a man is his time, and he doesn't want you to waste it. And even if it's a short-term thing, like he just doesn't want to leave that relationship and have a messed up head and a messed up heart. Because that man just wants a future with somebody that he can really fall in love with and grow old with. Which is why he already knows with like 95% certainty that him paying for your drink at the bar is not going to bring him closer to that.
Right. And so they did a thing, it's like data that came out. So it's like 258 nightclubs in 2024, fairly popular at some point in time, shut their doors. And simply because men were no longer showing up. And the funny thing is about it is, women are blaming men for that, right? They're like, well, it's your guys' fault that, they shut their doors and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it's actually your fault. Two reasons why. You get in free and get drinks for free. And then when a man does show up, you're using that man for drinks and attention and whatnot, and it leads to nowhere. And men know that, and men quit going to clubs because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money, and nothing really comes out of it, especially since most men realize now that you're probably not going to find your wife at a club or a bar. And that most of the women you do find at those places are the fun time girl. And a lot of men don't want a fun time girl because it leads to a 2-month relationship where she's like batshit crazy and just drives your entire life into the ground.
Men are fucking done with the BS. They're done being with women that use them and abuse them. They're done dating women that won't see their worth, women that are clearly only with them for their money or because they have something else to gain, like a child. They are fucking done with the false allegations and they won't put themselves in that situation anymore. And honestly, I love it. I love seeing it. Men are now saying that they are better off being single and being alone and living in the silence alone than dating a woman that doesn't even see their fucking worth and can't even fucking respect them. You are not going to be able to keep manipulating these men and treating these men like shit because men are not sticking around for anymore. So if you wonder where all the good men are, they're the ones that said, fuck this shit, I'm not fucking doing it anymore. I'm good enough on my own and I'll be on.
Yep, she's right about men are fed up with it and they're just done entirely because it goes back to the risk, right? The risks are just too high, and that you consume enough, social media and books and everything to know what modern dating is like, and most men just don't want anything to do with that. You spend 6 months on a dating app, swiping, and you get one person, and it's the one person who's all like, oh, by the way, check out my Only Freaks. It's like, no, I'm good. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What can men do at this point to help this crisis out? What can we as men do for each other? Like Big Brother programs or mentorship. What do you guys think would help men definitely kind of get back on track where everything isn't so hopeless? But let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you get a chance, hit like, subscribe. If not, that's okay too. I will catch you all on the next video.